What's up, guys? This is a video for you guys. And it is about a couple of things. I wanted to do before we start off what the video is about and stuff like that, I just want to do a quick little rant about stock racing in the 1/28 scale and pretty much everywhere else on-road, I don't know, genre, right? So if you're a new person, you come into this racing thing thinking that stock racing is a place where everyone's car is going the same speed and it's about driving and, you know, and it's an even playing field. Nothing could be farther from the truth, all right? Stock racing is, or spec racing, whatever you want to call it, right, is more of a way for experienced racers to tweak and tune their cars as far close to the spec as they possibly can. For instance, in the new, what is that called? The small scale alliance rules, say for 2500 lipo stock, the KV cap is 2800 KV, all right? People aren't just going out and buying a motor that says 2500 KV, throw it in their car and be like, yay, let's go. That is not what they're doing, okay? They're buying a 2500 KV motor from a motor company they know makes the fastest one. They're gonna open that can up and they're gonna move the rotor to get them as close as they can to the 2800 KV spec, all right? It's a blinky mode spec, so most of the tuning is to be done in the can. They're gonna run an ESC that allows for no sensor wire, because what that does is it allows the ESC will simply just pump out its max output to the motor without any sort of interruption between. Now, if you put a sensor wire on there, the action of the sensor wire interacting with the hall sensor on the back of the can is a parasitic feature, right? So the sensor wire and the measurement of and all that stuff, all the computations that are happening to allow the sensor to perform, take voltage, they take energy, right? So if you remove that, you remove that parasitic energy from the ESC, and all you're doing is pumping whatever the output of that ESC is directly into the motor. That's why people run with no sensor wire, right? Now, is there a way to run a sensor wire and still get all of that? Yes, there is. I mean, from what I understand, the Hobbywing equipment, if you're running Hobbywing and Hobbywing, it'll do that for you, right? It'll say, you know, that's my motor. I know that I don't want it. They're running blinky, no sensor information being passed back and forth. Just pump all the motor to the energy motor to the thing, right? They'll do that for you. That's what I hear, anyways. So I say all that to say this. That is why people are flying past you on the straightaway. It's not because they're cheating. It's not because they're adding timing while the car is in the thing with the Bluetooth module and all that business. It's because they're tuning the motor to be as close to 2800 KV as they possibly can. Tuning, it's about motor tuning, okay? And I'm gonna give you the quick and dirty on how to do that before we get started in this comparison video. Your rotor, the closer the rotor is to the hall sensor, which is the sensor board, right? That's where your ESC sensor wire goes, the faster the motor will be. So if you take the back off of a V3, V2, V4, whatever, off of a can, you'll see that the magnetic part in the middle has a front and a back, of course, the front being the part that goes to the pinion gear. If you apply shims to that side, faster, right? If you apply shims to the back side, slower. Backside being the bearing side that is facing away from the spur and pinion, right? That's the general gist. You can buy shims from PN to apply to the front and rear. Most likely on most of those rotors, you're only going to fit maybe 2 or 3 in the front, and vice versa. 3 is like, you're in a great spot, because if you can put 3 on there, you're going to get really, really close. 2 will put you in like 2750, something like that. It doesn't really matter. The point is, it's motor tuning. That's for every single motor on the market right now. All of them, not just the ones that you can take the rear off of with screws. All of them. The GL ones, the PN ones, the ones made by Atomic. Does Atomic make a 2500? That's something we should look for. Yeah, so it's motor tuning. That's why people are flying past you on the straightaway, because they know how to do it and you don't. For a long time, it was like a trade secret. You'd have to, like, even in 1/10 scale, you give your motor to some guy and he would go tweak it up and you come back and your stock motor would be the fastest motor allowed in the class. Secret's out. That's how you do it, right? It's all about the position of the rotor inside the motor. The further back you can get that thing to go, the faster the motor's going to be. Yeah, quick and dirty. All right, anyways, so now the other problem. The other problem in our stock racing scene is that there are 2 motor checkers out there in the wild today that people are using. One is the cheapie, the SkyRC, and this one is for 1/10 scale mostly. You can tell by this thing right here. It checks like motor vibration, all kinds of cool stuff. But really, it was made for 1/10 scale motors. That's a 540 can, 530 can, 520, something like that, in that size can, right? But you can use it on our motors. It works. It's inexpensive, and it's a meter. It does work. It shows you numbers. No, the SkyRC only works on 2S. So that, right? That's the SkyRC. The other one is new. It's made by Hobbywing, and it looks like this bad boy is going to run you about $300. It's made by Hobbywing. It works on 1/10 scale, 1/8 scale, all the motors in the world that you want, because Hobbywing makes all of those motors. But she's a bit more fancy. She's got a color touch screen and, you know, all the goodies. You got a little knobby here. I don't think you could press that or not. Oh yeah, it's a touch screen, so you don't have to press it. That's a little knob there that turns up the output to the motor. And, you know, it's got a sensor wire port, you know, somebody's working on a wire that works on the smaller motors, but right now the sensor wire only works on the larger motors. And it's good. It's really good. I would say, well, that's not, spoiler alert, it's probably more accurate. I'm gonna say probably because I'm not any sort of electrical engineer, but at $300 and made by a company that actually makes motors, like Roar spec motors, I would say this one is probably more accurate, and it does not want to focus. Why? There you go. Yeah, so that Hobbywing Tunalyzer. So there are your boys right there. Your boys. The Tunalyzer and the SkyRC. Now, problem is, one will tell you one thing and the other will tell you another. Let's go to the bench and talk about it, because I got something to say. Dun, dun. This one, just some quick, this one's, look, you're gonna get your $300 worth. This thing also works as the Hobbywing works as a Bluetooth programming card for your ESC. You could plug your ESC into this, your Hobbywing ESC into this, and use it as a programming card. You connect it to your phone. You can do it directly from this device, I think. And actually, no, I don't think you can do it. I didn't see a screen for it, but it's possible, I guess. I don't know. I've never tried it, but I use the Bluetooth on here. So this replaces the the programming card, and it's a tuner. This is just a tuner, and it's got, you know, kV, RPM, voltmeter, amp meter, motor timing, noise level, and sensor test. And those things are more based in 1/10 scale. I'm assuming these rubber bands on here, you put the motor in here and they can test what the vibration of the motor is. I guess that's a big thing, just to let you know if your rotor is dying or not, in 1/10 scale. And if you race 1/10 scale, I mean, you know, and you need to know that, I guess that'll help you. But this one does not have that. It's the only feature it does not have. This doesn't have Bluetooth. This doesn't have motor noise level. At least I didn't see it in there. And yeah, let's take them to the bench for more details. I'll show you guys what the difference is. This is really more about 1/28 scale racing, Mini Z racing. It's not about 1/10 scale. So all my comparisons are going to be based on that. It's going to be based on Mini Z, not going to be based on any 1/10 scale, 1/8 scale stuff at all. Okay, so let's take it over to the bench and I'll show you guys the differences, because there are differences, like big ones, like real big. Like if you got a guy at your track and he's like, "Oh, my motor fucking, I freaking clocked is 2670," but he's like blazing around the track like he's got a 3000 kV motor, he's most likely using this one.
All right, you guys, here they are. The Tunalyzer by Hobbywing and the SkyRC motor analyzer. Now, again, like I said before, they both work. You know, you plug a battery in there and you turn little knobbies and numbers come out. And you could compare motors to motors with those numbers. Now, which one is more accurate? Let me show you what I found, and I guess us as a 1/28 scale community decide which one of these we want to use. Now, you want faster racing, you might want to use this one. Anyways, let's check out the motor analyzer first, okay? SkyRC, it's a quality product, you know, as quality as SkyRC products are. And if you guys know, SkyRC makes budget stuff. They make some cool stuff though. They got like a GPS and all kind of good stuff, and they make some motors. Would you use them for racing? Probably not, but we do in the 1/28 scale community. We use a lot of different kinds of motors because, you know, you take what you can get. So let's plug this sucker in and I'll see what it comes up as. We'll put this guy over here for the moment. For this test, we will be using this wonderful, super cheap graphene battery. I don't even know what company that is. You-woo. And you woo-woo-woo. All right. So we're going to go ahead and plug this in the right way. There you go. You get your little SkyRC splash screen, and you get this little jog wheel that will get you through the different options: motor timing, noise level, pole of motor, kV. This is the one we want: kV, RPM. Press and turn to start. All right, so let's hook up the rest of the wires. I made my own special rig for this, if I can get it out of the freaking package without tearing it apart. That would be great. That would be great. Wires. There you go, everybody. Wires. I keep mine in this Emax case because it does not come with a case. It comes with a box. This I 3D printed. If you want to go to my page, my 3D printing page, the link in the description, all that kind of crap. There you go. You plug. These are little, whatever they're called, just roach clips, and you put those on there. It doesn't really matter what the colors are. So long as you align them properly, right? We're going blue in the middle, because, you know, why not? If I can get this to focus. On there is your motor power wires and your sensor port. we're not going to be using the sensor port because we don't need to know all that right now. And all that really matters is that blue is in the middle, right? Everything else, because we don't mind which way direction the motor is going to spin in. And I made this little new dangle here. Basically, that's 3 pins coming out of a servo lead that I put a bunch of friggin' hot glue on. Whatever. Skadoosh. This is a Rocket RC 3500 kV motor. See there? Maybe you can't. You're just gonna have to trust me. All right. So you get your do bangle wingle dangles. You put them on your fing flang bangles. You hold it down, press, and you turn. You guys can see there. It's saying that it's a 3602. All right, 30,000 RPMs. Seems pretty legit, right? 3610, that's a great motor. I'll definitely not be over at 3,800. Dope. It says that either that's how many amps are going into the motor, that's how many volts are coming out of the battery, and your kV and your RPM, right? Boom, neato. So this is like a 3610 is what it came up to, right? Awesome. So I'll definitely use this. It's going to be great. All right, so that's SkyRC. All right. Now, another concern I have, well, when it was on, if you can see here, this number here, let's turn this down a little bit. Oh, look at that, that's better. All right, so this number right here, let's get a little pointy medanga. This number here, that says 8.5 volts, right? This battery, it's at 4.2 volts. Let's put it on a checker and make sure. But I'm like 99.999% sure it is definitely not over. Yeah. So the battery checker has it coming in at 4.6, 4.17, right? But the input voltage on this analyzer is reading 8.5 volts. That's one inaccuracy, right? It changes when you use it, right? We'll go back, put the prongs back on the thongs and hit the rotator switch again. See now? It just dropped down to 8.4 volts, which is closer to what the battery is outputting, but still not accurate. Now we're at 620, 630. So 632. Come on. There we go. That's better. So 36, 32 at 8.4 volts, 3 amps in, 30,500 RPM. All right, cool. Cool beans. And that is the SkyRC. This guy, the Hobbywing I don't want to focus Alyzer, the Hobbywing Tunalyzer, it's his turn. His turn. Let's get the cables for that guy. You got your 3. You can put whatever metal things you want there. I use these are body clips. I think steel was in it. Scraped them to make sure they make good contact. 3 wires coming out onto a wing dang dongle right there, and that's the 3-pin thing, right? Pretty much the same. Second verse, same as the first. Here we go. We're going to plug these guys into the Hobbywings. All right, takes 2 to 4S LiPo, sensor port, ABC ports. So we're going to go blue in the middle, cyan, and alabaster. Yeah, I have no idea if those are rear fillers. I think that might be. Yes. And you got your power wires. You got your this guy, and then you got your red guy that mixed with the zappies. So you got your power later in there, your zappolators. This is a Pulse TX pack 4000 milliamp 2S battery. All right. And here is your menu system for Hobbywing. You're going to hit motor test. Agree that there's 2 poles. Set your throttle back to 0. So your test voltage is 7.4 volts, which means there is a step down in here. It takes your input voltage and drops it down to an even 7.4 volts. That is good science right there. Anyways, but it's $300, so you better have that sort of stuff in it. All right, here's our test motor. Same thing, 3500 kV rocket motor. All right, same guy, same motor, spinny spins. We're gonna get our 3-pronged magnet insulator. We're gonna put it on there. Push it down. Roughly 3690, and we got 3695. Oh, abnormal. That's my fault because I let the thing slip off the thing. I'd flip it over. No, this is the better side. Apply the pressures. All right, so again, we're looking at 3,700. $37.1 down to what's that, 690 something. Ooh, 37.11. Need a cramp in my finger from all this motor. Yeah, 3704. 27,000 RPMs. Okay, the RPMs are going to be slower because this is not running 8.5 volts. A miracle 8.5 volts coming out of an 8.4 volt battery. But anyways, so the current is a 0.16 amps. The kV is 37. Okay, now we're in the 3722. 3714, so 3,700. Roughly. 3710, 3723. The motor's getting a little warm. But, okay, so 3,700, right? 3,700, 3,720. You guys can see that. There we go, focus. 3711. 0.15 amps. 27,000 RPMs. The RPMs, again, as I said, they're going to be a little bit lower because they are, it's not 8 volts. All right, so, all right, 3,700. Well, that's not all the way off. So 3,700 there. Let's take it back to this guy. Oh, there's a little warm. It's a little vibrating too, a little warm and vibrating. All right. 61. So on that one, it's about a, I don't know, 50, 60, 70 difference, 70 kV difference, roughly. Show you guys the motor spinning so I'm not like doing anything weird, but yeah, 36. Let's say 360, 3660. Okay, 3660. That's what that's coming out as. The magical 8.5 volts. That motor's quite warm. It's not hot or anything, but it's definitely warm. All right, so yeah, there you go. There's definitely a kV difference. This one's running 3700. This one's running 3660. I think 37. I think we got the 37. Let's say 3715 and 3660. You know, math. You should do some of that. All right, so 36. No, let's do the high number first. 37. Let's go on. 720 minus 3660. So a 60 kV difference between the two. Unfortunately, it will not focus on my phone. Yeah. So we got a 60 on that 3500. 60 kV difference. Let's pull out another motor. All right, I got this 2500 kV motor. I'm pretty sure this has like some insano stator in it, right, or a rotor in it right now. But oh. All right, 2680. I'll let it go for a little bit here. See if we can see 2700, 2680, 2681, 2683. So let's say 2683, right? 2683 on the motor analyzer from SkyRC. Let's try same motor on, was that other motor sensor? Yeah, it was. Okay. On the Tunalyzer. $27.65, $27.68, $27.70. Let's go at $27.75. $27.64. 27. Let's call that an even 27.75. Well, we saw 80 there, but 27.75. 27.77. Okay. 27.80 again. 27.81. We'll call it 27.78. Okay. So before I forget, 27.78 minus one more time on this guy, just because now the motor's warmed up. Here we go. $27.02. 27.07. So we're seeing an 07 and as low as 02. So we'll call that 27.05. All right. Minus $27. Is it 27.05? 05? 73 kV difference. All right, so the first one was what, a 60 something, 65, and the second one was a 73. I've seen up to 85.
85 kV difference between motors. Between the two, this one reads high and that one reads low. So if, just know that. Like, know if you have this less expensive one and your club is using this one, you're gonna have to come down about 80 kV, 75, 50, somewhere in there, 60 to 80 kV difference, right? If you own one of these and your club uses it, you're fine. If the club that you race at uses this one and you have this one, then, add yourself another, a safe 70 kV, or well, I don't know, like 50, 55 kV difference. Like, give yourself 55 plus on this guy. Now, the best thing to do would just have, we as a community decide we're all going to use this one, right? It's inexpensive, it's inaccurate, but it's, it's a number, right? I don't know. I can't say that this is inaccurate. I don't know. I don't have a meter to say that this one is more accurate than that one. I just know that this one has a voltage step down in it and this one does not. Most likely, I don't know why it would read 8.5 volts. That battery has been on there this whole video. So there's no way that you're getting an input voltage of 8.5 volts. There's not. So given that inaccuracy, I would say that this is probably the less accurate one. Now, hopefully it's consistently inaccurate. And I'm pretty sure it is, because I know a couple of guys that use this one. And when I was like, man, you're 2650 kV, that's not possible. I'm at 27, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, so I think it's consistently inaccurate. It's inexpensive, and every club can afford to buy one, and pretty much every racer can afford to buy one. I've seen it as low as $40. This is version 1.3. I don't know what that means. I think it's 1.3. I don't remember. Version 1.31. There's inconsistencies, and if we're going to decide, we should decide on one. Anyways, you guys, there you go. There's a comparison between the Hobbywing Tunalyzer and the SkyRC motor analyzer. Again, I'm not saying that this is a bad product or anything like that. It's just not. The numbers are different, right? And there's some strange inconsistencies with the input voltage. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that isn't the input voltage. I don't know what. You guys want to test one more motor before we go? Let's see, what else do I have in here? I have a PN 3500. $37.05, $37.10. This is on I think this is a Gen 1 P4. $37.21. $37.31. We'll call it $37.30, okay? Now, for our more expensive competitor, putting these pens on here is a pain in the butt. Pens are on. Sorry about that dark. Punch up a little bit. There we go. All right. So that's coming out 3810, 3823, 3818. So, if the spec is 3800 kV is top. So that's what I meant by,
knowing which motor checker your club or your place you race uses. I know out in Pittsburgh they use this guy, so I test all my motors on this guy before I go to Pittsburgh. But if you're going to say to Park Lane, I think Park Lane uses this guy. All right, so yeah, there you go. Yeah, Park Lane uses that, and Iron City uses this guy. So just know what your club uses, and give them a call if you don't know, and tune accordingly. All right, guys, that's enough of my goofing around. It's been like a long time on my end, and that's it. Hobbywing and SkyRC forever. You guys wonder why I say that? Because I watch YouTube's busiest music nerd, and he says that, and I like him. He's cool. All right, this is you guys. See you in the next one.